Okay, we will start this session. Before that, I will open. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And thank you for joining this session for all of you in the computer science philosophy courses. For today, I will lead you to discuss about ethics. Yeah, the ethics on the science. Yeah, for today to discuss about the topics about ethics in science. I would like to bring into this specific discussion, yeah, especially in the data science ethics, yeah. So hopefully, even this is the case or what the matter that we want to discuss is about data science in the data science field, but actually the ethic is commonly used in every discussion and topics. Yeah. So why this is important? Yeah, this is important because when we discuss about the science that when we discuss after last week, for example, we have a point that somehow science is unstoppable. Yeah, science is very exploratory. Yeah, maybe in other word, it will be very disruptive. That will be touch the current conditions and make some of the in quote the status quo situation. It will be interrupt with the new innovation and also some inventions. So in this case, to avoid that the science is not too far in the futures, and then make some disruptive in the negative terms, yeah, make the bad impact in the community, for example. So we need to consider about the ethics on science, yeah. So I think this topic is important for us, especially as a student, as lecturer for me, and also as a scientist, and also for the common people in the world. That the ethic is very important to understand the concept and also the frame how we use the ethic for many fields in our current activities. Yeah. Wait a minute. So what we want to discuss is we try to using the data science issue to discuss about the ethic that we want to discuss today, yeah. And after that, we will do some discussion. I think if I'm not wrong, last week you have some tasks, yeah, to present today. So if you want to present in the first place, please you can write down in the chat, yeah, to have the list, yeah. So let's discuss about the ethic itself, yeah. So the important thing is about the ethics that we will discuss in several points, yeah. The first point is what exactly what are the ethics, yeah. So when we discuss about the ethics, what the mean of the ethics itself, and then what about the history and concept, and also the concept of informed concern about the surrounding about the ethics, yeah. Uh, and then data ownership, yeah. Data ownership is about the ownership of something that important to discuss, yeah. Uh, and then we also have the privacy, and this is very important today. Yes, it's also about when we think about the privacy. I think the big picture of privacy is also about how we manage the ownership, and then the anonymity is very important too, and then the data validity and also the algorithmic fairness. Yeah. So I think we also has a little bit discussed about the algorithm that save the world is also have the value of the ethics inside the algorithms here to ensure that the algorithm is not used for as weapon to again humanity and so on. Yeah, so that would be the nice one. And what the challenging discussion for the ethics actually today is how the ethic can bring, yeah, the world situation is more better than before, yeah. So I think you already know and also see that in the social media, in the internet, somehow the ethic is not exist anymore. Yeah, so not but the ethic in the morality in the science, for example, the ethics to to publish for publication. I think like issue of the plagiarism, for example, and then the issue of some bring the science as political way, political tools to have some position, and also that is also very interesting to discuss. Yeah, but the most important thing is somehow in our in our zone as student, for example, for you, somehow we also use like science for for strategy to have some special services, for example. Yeah, for example, when you go through to outside, you go to the road, and then the police stop you, and then you bring the name of the UGM, for example. I'm student of UGM, sir. I want to go to KKN place and so on, for example. So somehow it's happened here because yeah, automatically we will try to come out with our properties to make sure that we are in the safe zone. Yeah, so that will be also the interesting one about the problem on the ethics in itself. Yeah, so we need to ensure that when we know our position, so we can use something that in the ethic in the ethic is normal, or we use what I call this our attribute in the ethical way. Yeah, so that will be the interesting one. And somehow in the very personal things, I think we also see the privacy now become public. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that also the problem in the ethics, for example. So, for example, in TikTok and in Instagram, maybe in Twitter, even in the Facebook or another social media, we can see that the people have a problem with another people will use the social media for their field, for the place for them to do some argument war, for example. So that is also something that not very good enough in the ethic way. Yeah? It's also happened with in our for example in the campus life in the academic way. It's also same when we do some we try to criticize one of the, for example, researchers. I think the common and appropriate place is in the conference, in the scientific conference, in scientific discussion, and so on, not in the in the social media or something. So that's I think one of the issue that we need also to consider about the ethics here. So that will be in the example how to do that one. But if we go to our field in computer science, for example, when we see the algorithm itself, somehow the algorithm is designed and the programmer or the engineer write the code. It's not complying with the ethic that we want to consider. For example, when we see, let's say, in the open source way, for example, yeah, in the open source movement, we believe that the openness is also with the openness is good enough. The openness will help us to grow by our community because we are collaborate. We open to our code, and then we also invite people to join our code, and then and etc. and develop together to bring more better application and so on. So that's the mean of the open source. But unfortunately, when people use the open source software or application, they not give the appropriate and a good credit note for the developers. They will claim that there is my code. This is the claim. This is will be my product and so on. But we not realize that actually inside in our product there is a lot of people that work on it. Yeah, so we need to consider about it. So that's why one of the example about the ethic movement is also like the open source initiative, and also the the openness of the research, data set openness, and so on. So that would be the good example of the how the ethics is work for in our scientific field, yeah, especially in computer science. So that's why it's not only just if yeah, previously maybe about 10 years, maybe 15 years ago, I introduced in the computer science field in the open source initiative. So so my political thinkings or ethical thinkings is about the openness, yeah, in the technology. We really consider to always open to collaborate. Yeah, yeah. If we go to, we have a data set, if we want to publish a paper or research based on the data set, so it's mean the data set should be also open to other community. So that's the mean of the ethics here. In the some of the level, when we have we have a value on the ethic, you will have also some very distinct value that you believe, and you will have faith on it. Yeah. So that will be a very different with. So that's why you can see that every researcher have their own faith, yeah, because they have because the faith is transformed from the ethic that want to implement or deploy on her or his environment, and then they do every day, and in the some point it will be make them a value on it, and the value that they consider every time they all comply every time, they will have faith on it. Yeah. So that will be the cool things. Yeah. So that will be the big picture where we discuss about the ethics. Yeah. So this is the first hour discussion. What are the ethics here? So the ethics are shared principles that help us distinguish right or wrong. Yeah. So that's the word, yeah, about the ethics. Yeah. So in here we can see that the ethic is consists of several principles. Yeah. Yeah. So in here uh, we can see that what where are the source of the principle. Yeah. So when we think about it, so we will understand that that's why when the ethic will be developed by a lot of experience, a lot of time to discover what the good things, what is the best practice, what we have same belief, we have consensus, and also other things. Yeah. But the most important thing is when we use the ethic, we will have a capability to decide which one is right, which one is wrong. Yeah. So that will be the clue actually. Yeah. So for example, in your daily activity, when you face about an option, for example, if I do the A, it will be right. And then if I do B, it will be wrong. In some situation, we cannot decide which option that we want to choose, yeah, for the next step. So because of maybe we doesn't have yet any principle to decide that one. So in that one, we need a lot of experience. So that's why sometimes you will ask your friend that you believe they have their own experience for it, and then help you to decide which one is right for you. So it's something like that, yeah. So that's why based on this experience, we will have a lot of principle on the ethics, yeah. So when we see the experience, so we realize that the ethic is not came from our own belief, but also from the community belief, our family belief, our nation belief, and also the humanity belief. Yeah. So that would be the nice one. Okay, maybe we can discuss about the polemic about some of the issue in our countries, for example, about KPK, for example. Yeah. So I think all of them will have their own belief. So that's why the debate will be never end. Yeah. But because we are have a faith, we have our own belief. We can see which one is right, which one is wrong. Yeah. So that's the ethics work. Yeah. So it's same with us when we see an algorithm. For me as lecturer, for example, if I only design the good algorithm is only based on the books, and I not consider about the belief of the engineers that write the code, So I will judge all the algorithms, all the code in the world is wrong. Yeah. So that's why before I decide it's right or wrong, I need to see what are the belief of the engineer. So for example, I will ask the engineer how your flowchart to do that job, and then you implement in your code as algorithm, for example. So if you give the flowchart, I will get the point of the process, and then I will see and I will agree with your belief, your ethics on the code, and then I will accept your code. So that's it should be something like that. Yeah. So that's why you can see, for example, in the thesis exam, for example, when you want to final events for your report in the thesis, for example, if you see the examiner that maybe challenge you to say something about your code, and then he say that, okay, I think your code is very wrong, for example, I think you will be angry. Yeah. So but you need to, before you angry, you need to realize that the examiner is also have their own belief, their own ethics. Yeah, maybe more experience than you. And then but uh, I think the same side when the examiner see you. Yeah, because this is like the assignment. Sorry, the final test. So the examiner obligation is to challenge you. So so if the examiner say something that not good with you, so I think you doesn't need to be angry. Yeah, just accept, open minded, and then you try to answer with your belief. Yeah, if you can defend your belief, you can defend your ethics, and then you will make acceptance from the examiner. That's the things. Yeah. So that's very also the interesting one. And the next one is also, let's say, maybe I'll give you some my experience. For these 2 weeks, I have an email from the one of the student, PhD student in New Zealand. He's actually Indonesian. He now work on the research, that research the based on the video YouTube from the lecture in Indonesia that use the humor items. Yeah, I think you see on your Elop, I give them some feature to have a voluntary survey. So that's from her, and he asked me. I'm very surprised because he tried to follow my YouTube, and then bring my video as her research. And what the next one is, before he do that, he sent me the email to have the permission. Even I declare in the YouTube, everyone can use my YouTube video for any purposes that they want. Yeah. Based on the rule of the YouTube, of course. Yeah. So that's cool thing. So that's why, and also that's why in the ELOC I give the survey form is not mandatory for you, but it's voluntary. So because it's research based. Yeah. So that's why we have the ethic on it also. But the next one is, I just realized that, wow, I'm using humor. I think not exactly. I'm not very good in the stand up lecturing, for example. So but the next one is you can see that one, that the material that we record, that every week we meet in this session, and then I upload to YouTube, it will be useful for me, for somebody else, in another perspective. So that's also bring us the new thinking about the new ethics of our activity in the internet, and especially video based interact our activity in YouTube, for example. Yeah. So that's the most important thing. And the next one is the ethic are the cornerstone of civilization. Yeah. So that's also the nice one. Yeah. And the next is ethics are the basis for the rule we all voluntarily choose to follow, because that make the world a better place for all of us. So the ethic bring the consensus, bring the level of the acceptance for everybody, and so everybody will be accept about it. And if we willing to accept it, I think there is no conflict. There is no something that disrupt for everyone and make everyone happy, in quote, and in the same time it will be make us more easy to see the world for a better place for us. Yeah. So also that's one. So that's why I think why, for example, sometimes I'm considered why in MIT, in Carnegie Mellon, in the best university in computer science program in the world. When I go there, I see the atmosphere is very academic and research openness here. So I see when I go to the lab, I'm a stranger. I just knock the door. I introduce myself. I meet old people, the professor in there. He smiled with me. He opened the door and then asked me what he can help and so on. It's always like that. But you can see in our university or maybe in the Indonesia, it's different things here. If you want to go to the professor, I think you need to submit a proposal to see them to discuss something in specific time because a busy and so on. So that's a very different atmosphere. Why it can be happen here? So I think my opinion, if I'm a lecturer in campus, if I stay in campus, for example, I think when I stay in campus, it's mean I already open the door my room for any student that will want to discuss with me. If when I go to the lab, I stay in the lab, you can also discuss with me every time. So that will be actually the how actually the ethics goes on. I think, yeah. Uh, so that's within the ethics. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we also have a cultural ethics that very involved in our activities. Yeah. So that's why it can be happen like that one that I example. Yeah, in the previous statement. So, but yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah. Let's say when I have also some experience that can open my ethical thinkings. Yeah. When I stay in Vienna and then I go to the in University of Vienna. My professor sent me to sit in one class. It is the class is start in 7 at night, I think, and then I go there. And what I surprised is when I go there, actually I'm not list of students that will be join the lectures, the lecturing session. But the nice one, I opened the doors, and then in that time, the professor is already in there before the student came to the class. So that was very interesting. Interesting. So I'm very surprised, and then I think I'm late, and then I say sorry to the professor and introduce myself, and he say, oh no, you are the first student that came too early, huh? Because actually I only, for example, if we start in 10:30, I go there into 10:20, I think, yeah, and I see the professor is already in class is 15 minutes before the class is open. So that's just also the ethic that he showed to me that he have a very good dedication for the science activities here. So that's make me some inspiration, I think. Yeah. So we can see in that. And then when I'm surprised again is, yeah, maybe commonly in the Europe or in the US, yeah, the professor is only used like a very short very is only using the casual dress, ya, yang pakai kaos dan celana pendek, something like that, and he bring their laptop. It's very easy, yeah, and very very relaxed. And I decide to sit in the class. He said to me, okay, yeah, your professor is already contact me, and then you can sit in today. And then I go there, and then the class is getting full, and I'm surprised. Actually, that session actually is very famous and very interesting for many students. So that's why the student in there is willing, voluntary to join a sit in there. So that's why we can see that the class is like not only just students that sit in the chair, but also in the floor and so on. So it's very full. So I'm glad because I'm joined in the first time I have a chair. So after that, what I am surprised is when he stopped the session, he he always saying to everyone, you very remember about the name of the student. Even he just I just introduced, he also remember my name. And yeah, I'm sorry for you for you, yeah, for student that I'm not good enough for remembering your name. Maybe if there is no Google Meet feature that display your name, it's very difficult for me to remember your name. This is Haidar, this is Tegar, this is Alma, and so on. Even that, I never see your face yet, so that would be also the next disaster that I cannot see your face and then not remember your name. Yeah, so that good combination for this pandemic session. Yeah, so that will be cool. Yeah, so that's the next one. And the experience goes on after that. After maybe 15 and 10 minutes, he explained the introduction. He let me to go to the front, and he want me to introduce. I'm student from the Indonesia, going to the sandwich program in the Vienna, and so on and so on. And and he give me 15 minutes in the end of the class to present my research. So that make me shocked, yeah, because I'm not prepared yet, yeah. But the next one is even my presentation is very bad. It's very not good enough in the quality and so on. He always give me appreciation. Oh, nice one. So you can see the researcher from the foreigners. I think actually when we discuss in the conference you can see also in the, for example, international based webinar or so on. Every speaker will be have a good attitude when he have, for example, when he see the presentation from us. He always will, it's excellent, awesome, it's nice job, something like that. He gives something like that. So that's why I also train myself to do that one. So everyone, if you can see from my lecturing, for example, I do that one. If you has finished your presentation, my obligation is giving you the credit because that's good enough, yeah, for example. So that will be with the appreciation. It's also the implementation of the ethics, yeah. Yeah, so that's my one. We are Indonesian people, have same things, yeah. I think the ethics, yeah. If I say salam, you answer on the salam. If you after you finish your job, you will say thank you and so on and so on. And then that's within the good ethic if we go there, yeah. So that's actually what I want to do here in MIPA, especially how we make this atmosphere in broad range of the ethical and then a good enough condition, yeah. I have remember one my social challenge, yeah. If not in the pandemic condition, I have a challenge in student actually when I say to my class in previous class, if you meet me, dare you to say to me, say hello for the first time. Yeah, so that one. So if you, for example, if I'm going to MIPA, you are also in MIPA campus, and we meet in the corridor, in the way of to mouse or something, and we make conversation on that way, not to avoid each other. So that also the ethic actually. We are in the campus, so we need to bring we want one family, and we can say anything in there. Yeah, so that will be the cool thing. So that's mean of the ethics actually. But unfortunately, we have cultural. I think it's not good enough. Yeah, if we say that, oh, I think lecture is as half of God, so untouchable. A student doesn't need to be for example, me as lecturer is not appropriate to say hello first to the student. It's not always not that one. If I in the fifth floor in front of my office, if I see a student in there, I will say hello to them. Halo, apa kabar? Gimana, sehat? Yeah, something like that. So that's the ethic actually. So you can see the ethic is not always from the youngest person into the oldest one, but for everyone. Yeah. So that will be the cool one. Yeah. So it's okay if we meet in the social media, you can say to me, yeah, for example, you can mention to me in the appropriate way, yeah. So that also the good things, yeah. So that's the mean of the ethic. So, but the nice one is we need to be very carefully that the ethic is not always being laws, yeah. Yeah. So what I mean to this is, suppose you tell me a secret, I promise you to tell no one, yeah. So that will be the rule, yeah. If I then break my promise, I may not have broken any law, but I have certainly been unethical. Yeah, of course, this term can be the law if the secret is be secured by some of the MOU or something. Yeah, so that will be also the challenge. Yeah. So what the meaning here is that we realize that in the several point, the ethic is not cannot be a problem, especially we go to the law problems, yeah, because the ethics, yeah, just ethics, yeah. Ethics is one of the value that make us have some point that we can be some checkpoint for our daily activities. But don't bring the ethics into the laws, yeah. So that's why this is very important. But so that's why in the science of law, uh, the laws can be built or developed based on the current ethics that exist in the community. Yeah, so that will be the next one. So when we see the products of the law, for example, Undang-Undang ITE, for example, when we read all the time, we can see many ethics in the information technology try to adapt by the laws. Yeah, yeah, even some of the point we still have a discussion. We have a problem on the Undang-Undang ITE, but it's okay. But they try to use the ethic in there. Yeah, so you also need to consider that we are Indonesia. We have a Pancasila, we have our religion, we have a culture, we have the local wisdom, and so on. So that will be the ethic that make us have some checkpoint about the laws. Yeah. So the problem is if the laws does not ethics. Yeah. So that would be the nice one. I'm not want to discuss more, but I will give you some example about what happened in the KPK today. Yeah, when they about the about TWK test, yeah, that conduct by the KPK and also from the PKN. I think we can consider that we understand that the question that gives to the employee of the KPK is using the based on the Pancasila something and else. But unfortunately, we can see the implementation is not have any ethics at all. For example, if they use the example of the question that now open to the public, yeah. So that will be the question. See, the the wrong is not in Pancasila or something else, but the wrong is how we can set a question that doesn't have any ethics at all. Yeah, so, so for example, if I am for example I'm dean of in the MIPA, and then I would like to check my student about the student of UGM. It should be based on Pancasila, for example. So I ask you, do you uh, do you do you have subuh prayer this morning? Yeah. If you say no, I think I cannot consider as to you know to reject you as student in MIPA because it's not ethical. Yeah. But it's wrong. It's yes. Yeah. It's wrong. Yes, because you are avoid your obligation as Muslim, for example. But unfortunately, it's not ethical to use that one to withdraw you your status as student of UGM. Yeah. So that about the ethics. Yeah. So that's why I think the implementation is something wrong in there. Yeah. So we should have this one. So also so that's why it's very important to see this one in very clear way. I bring you this on my experience about to see this discussion. So hopefully your life will be have some a better experience. So you have to be have a lot of experience on it. Yeah. It's I think you also have some advantages for you that student that have experience that stay abroad in the overseas, for example. I think it's very important, yeah, to you to have like let's say experience 1 or 2 years in the abroad. Yeah, I only have about half a years, but I think it's very changing me to see how the science how we see in the life and so on. Yeah, so that will be the cool way, yeah, to see that one. Yeah. So that's mean of the ethic are not laws. But from ethics, we can generate the law. We can develop law. Yeah, ethic get the creation of law. Yeah, so the two are often in consonance. Yeah, not everyone will be ethical, even where they are shared value. That is why people go to jail for thief. Yeah, for example, like that one. Yeah, so I think you stay. This will be recap what I explained previously. And laws may be used to enforce ethical behavior. Yeah. So you can see here the law is being the tool to enforce the ethical behavior. Yeah. So that's why I think we can see that the law it should be support the ethical things, yeah, not the other side, yeah. It should be like that one, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that will be the next one of the the discussion about the ethics and also the about the law, yeah. Okay, and we go to the next. Yeah, and the next one is sometimes we also have some discussion about it. Yeah, so I think have a lot of consideration in my head about it. Ethics are not religion. Yeah, so we need to consider. We believe that religion is about be Muslim, be Christian, be Catholic, Hinduist, Buddhist, and etc. Yeah, so that will be your we are religion. We also have our own value and faith that form of the Bibles. Yeah, we have Al Quran. You have your Injil. You have your other Bibles. Yeah, so that will be our religion. That, and then it's not, there is no complaint about it. Yeah, but the most important thing is we need to consider that ethics are not religions. Yeah, religion is more than ethics, I think, because it's role us in universe. Yeah, so that's why most religions promote ethical behavior. So that's why what if we want to bring a better world, a better life in our environment, is support, and it's ordered by our religion. There is no religion that recommend to attack people that no innocent, yeah, to blasting the bomb, yeah, and something else. But the most important thing is every religion promote us to have to need to be nice to our neighbor, yeah, to give food to elderly, to care to the children, yeah, and to care with the environment and so on. That's the religion. So that's why most religions promote ethical behaviors, yeah. And but ethics need to be religious, yeah, yeah. So it's very important too. So that's why if we see the ethics is very religious, yeah, but not religion. It's religious but not religions, yeah. So because the ethic, like Indonesia, I think the ethics in Indonesia will be the summarize or the of the orchestration of every religion and local wisdom that exists in Indonesia. And then this all the ethics will be pushed, it will be promoted into the laws, yeah, something like that. So that's why we need to very carefully to see that one, because sometimes if we're not considered about it, we will use the ethics as religion. And the bad way is sometimes we use the religions, we use law as religions. Yeah, so that's the cool things. Yeah, I think what I think is maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe the people who see this recorded video later on in YouTube can correct me. I see like Pancasila, Undang-Undang 45 is the source of the law, yeah. So, but not religions, actually not religions, but it's a source of the law is based on our religions, our religion. So that's why it's not appropriate if we ask the person to choose which one he will choose is the Bible or the Pancasila. So I think it's not realistic here. So that's the cool way. So of course we will choose both because this is one. It's actually one. This is our integrated product, yeah, for us. For our computer science, this is like integrated system that if we spirit each other, it will be disaster actually. Yeah, so that will be the nice one. So that's why we need to consider about it. Yeah, the ethics flow from shared value. Yeah, which could be an account of religions. Yeah, so that's very clear. Yeah. So I think in here we need very. I think so. That's why you can see that a lot of computer science and researchers become ustad, become pendeta, become a bhiksu and so on, because yeah, sometimes if we discover the scientific way make us more religious actually. So that's the cool of the ethics actually. So yeah, if we go to the movie, for example, the Spider-Man, yeah, who's the enemy of Spider-Man? I think the people that fly everyone, and then the color is green in the Spider-Man 1 or 2. Yeah, I think he have the good scientific skill, but unfortunately, because he's not have an ethic, so they will consider a lot of things to do beyond the border. So he become the enemy. Yeah, so that also the problem on our things. Yeah. So that will be discussion about the three component, yeah, about the ethics. We also have the laws, and also we have the religion in other side. So if we bring these three component into our society in the good and appropriate way, I think we will have a good rules of our life. Yeah. So the next is when we see this one. So I think when we discuss about the ethics, religions, and also the law, we can see the relationship between all the ethics source. Yeah. And then the next is about the data ownership. Yeah. So it is, I think it's very important now to understand that we need to realize that everyone now is connected to the internet. So in the very fast way, of course, we see that a lot of people now share their data, the private and public data, in many way and automatically way. Yeah. So that also need to consider. Yeah. Last time we can see that the incident in the data breach in the BPJS Kesehatan, for example, that the data has been offered in the deep in the dark markets, and then and what happened now, we never know. Yeah, because the institutions say something that is something normal, but I think it's actually it's not. Yeah, because actually it is very important to see that the data is very important. Yeah, as one of the very valuable asset in our daily life. Yeah. So that's why we need to identify who is the owner of the data, and then the object or the one who collect the data. Yeah. And of course, the data ownership, it will be manage the limits on recording and use. Yeah. For example, I think the good ethics way that we can see when I want to record this session using the Google Meet will be, will be give notification to all the members in here that the session will be recorded, and then every session that recorded will be displaying the red notif, yeah, in the left corner, that the session is recorded. It's also happen in Zoom, and so on and so on. Yeah, so that's also one of the implication. So the most important thing when we learn it is we can see that when data in use, it's very important to us to give a notification or information to the parties that maybe will be impact to that session, to that event. Yeah, so that within the also the ethics. Yeah. So I think it's very important. For example, you are now join my class in your private room, in your house, yeah, or maybe in your in working space or something. If you want to not to disturb with your family, I think you will write in the paper, and then you will place in your door. Yeah. So when your parent want to disrupt you, they will consider that you are still on the session, for example. So also that also is happening. Yeah. But you need to consider that if someone break out your door, and then you doesn't notice anything in your door, yeah, so you cannot be angry, because the people video we cannot let people know about our also the need to be extract is also need to be see the data ownership. Yeah, so that will be also the next one. This is one of the case that maybe you can see. Let's see this one. This is like there is case study that maybe you can see about it. Yeah, you can learn more. Yeah, about this data science things. Yeah. So that's also our example how we do that one. So I do myself for, also that I have a consideration now that all my session, lecturing session, it should be open. Yeah. So that's the ethical reason for me to record this session. And then after that, after finish the recording, I will upload to the YouTube because I honor, I respect to all my students that maybe my student need to see and then to watch the session again. Because after you join the session, sometimes you need to go outside. You have some emergency situation, so you need to leave the room. So yeah, based on this reason, I think there is no limitation for you to still updated with the material that I explained this session based on the YouTube and recorded session that I upload in YouTube. Yeah, so that also the one of the nice one. So that's why I believe that if I not recorded this session, it's mean I will lose the opportunity to give you some knowledge here. So I think as ethic as lecture, it will be very disappointed for me. Yeah. So that's the cool way. So I think you need to also to understand why, like for me, like lecture for me is access in YouTube. Yeah, even a very small subscriber and also watcher, but it's okay. But the most important thing we share the knowledge. Yeah. So that's the cool way. Yeah. And also the next is if we go to the data, if we discuss about data, so we will face this issue, yeah, about the privacy. Yeah. So we need to understand that the privacy will be very important for us. Yeah. So we need to understand about the history of the privacy. Yeah. So I think we will discuss later, and then degree of privacy. Yeah. So we also have some level about the level of privacy, and then what is the modern privacy risk. Yeah. I think next meeting we will go to the cyber things. Yeah. So we have a cyber security, cyber privacy and cyber issue that related with the ethics and also with the philosophy. I think a lot of things that we can discuss later on. Yeah, and then we can see that this case study that sneaky mobile apps, and then we also have now problem in the targeted ads. Yeah, now become booming because uh, like let's say when we access the application, and when we still enjoy to see the application, the problem is we have a problem on it. Yeah, so that we interrupt with the marketing things. Yeah, so that would be problems. Yeah, so we have also some rules about the anonymity. Yeah, this is what is the anonymity. Yeah, so this is like the anonymity is the concept how we avoid to disclose some information to the public zone because of some circumstances. So we try to have the limited value of the identification. Yeah. So this is like how we can revealing full identity about it. Yeah, so that will be very important. So that's why when we see like the anonymous movement that bring the world difference, I think uh, some of the reason I agree with what they do. Yeah, what the anonymous do. Yeah, because sometimes we in sometimes for some of reason we need to have the openness about some strategic or very important issue that raising now. Yeah, some about the corruption, about the problem in the world that sometimes is spurred by the politician and so on. Yeah, so we need to open that one, because if we open that one, we will bring the fairness in the world. Yeah, first time thing like that one. But the nice one about the concept of anonymity is we doesn't want everyone is publishable in the world. Yeah, so that's not good one. So for me myself, I think I consider to publish myself in the internet is, yeah, as the component that I think is useful for me. Maybe if I have something that valuable and also it can be used by another person in the internet, I think I will freely to give that privilege to the internet, for example, to access my personal things. Yeah, but of course I also have a very close personal component that I don't want to share with anybody. So that will be the anonymity. So we still have the privacy. We still have the border. Not everything is will be publishable. Yeah. So you can see this one in the Netflix privacy case. You can also later on access this link and then see and to learn about this case. Yeah. And then this is also the data validity issue. Yeah, bad data, bad model lead to bad decision. It is the crucial problem in the data science. Yeah, for example, source of error, choice of attribute and measures, errors in data processing, error in model design, managing change. And it is also one of the important issue that we need to consider in the data validity issue in data science, for example. I think it's also uh, happen in our world. Yeah. So if we distribute some information, I think if it became hoax or not, is we need to consider about the source of data. Yeah. If the source is error, it doesn't identify which where are the source. It means we doesn't know about the source. Yeah. So it can be questionable. So this is also the attribute and measures, and then the error of data processing and so on. I think you can learn from this case study too, from the algorithm and race. This is what from the Ford Foundation that have a good article on it, because can computer be resist big data inequality and discrimination? So I think that's one. I think in the football world also we again the racisms and so on and so on. Yeah, so that's something that's same issue, I think. Yeah. And also algorithm in the office. This is from the Amazon, yeah, Amazon job automation insight. Yeah, this is like scrap secret recruiting tool that show bias against women. Yeah, so you can see that one. So we can do some advocacy about a lot of issue actually in this zone. Yeah, when we discuss about the ethics. Yeah. So the algorithmic is also have a question about the fairness actually. What is algorithmic fairness? Is also we need to see this one, yeah, and then correct but misleading result, something overfitting and something, and we can see in here. I think I will go to this one to show you how about the Google photo in that time is also have a blunders, yeah. So that's okay. But I think we can accept something happened in years, because you can see in here, you can see this one. This is the Google photo too. Yeah, so something like the algorithm is do some racist things. Yeah, so that's also the ethics issue that we want to need to consider about it. Maybe we can smile about this article, but I think for humanity, right, it's big problems. Yeah, it's big problem. So something that one. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of things that we can see in yours. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, and then uh, yeah, that's the problem in our. So hopefully you can see that one that yeah, as in computer science, it doesn't only will be touch things on the code and algorithms only, but you can see in here the impacts in the humanity, in the equality, fairness, and also etc. is also happen for us. Yeah, and if you go to this one, I think this one uh, in Amazon, we can see what is happened. Yeah, yeah, you can. I think after this, I suggest you to read this article to bring you to the more detailed discussion with yourself, and then you can see the consideration about it. Yeah, so see what I think we also face about it. Yeah, so in several, in several university in Europe, especially, they also have a very specific major that discuss this issue in computer science. Yeah, so I think, yeah, that's cool. I think, yeah, but unfortunately, in our department and our university on Indonesia itself, there is no interest in this side. Yeah, unfortunately, maybe from psychology side, I think the faculty of psychology and so on, maybe they're more interest with this issue. Yeah. So, but I think actually it's also one of our majors. Yeah. This week, I think I have a email from my colleagues in Uppsala University in Sweden. They also give the email to offering the student to take the PhD opportunity. Unfortunately, I can offer to you, yeah, because they need the PhD student that working on in the computer science, but in the major of computer science education. And one of them is about surrounding this issue. Yeah, so that's also the cool things, I think. Yeah. Fourth is also have same things. Yeah, so that is like maybe if you have, for example, event competition event that basically international base, for example, you can use this idea. Yeah, how we again the racism and also the unfairness in the world about it. I think it will be also also one of the interest point for from the judge, yeah, to see your perspective. Yeah, somehow it is very inspired, I think. Yeah, very have a lot of inspirations about it. Yeah. This is like the algorithmic transparency. It's just like financial, I think. Yeah, the algorithms. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of example in here. You can see this is the Netflix. It's also uh, break the privacy issue. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, okay. Still resolving push. Hopefully, it's not a problem. Yeah. So that's it for what I want to update to you about the material about the ethics in the computer science philosophy, and hopefully you get the point, and then consider about surrounding the issue about it. Yeah. So that will be hopefully you can catch the view, and then bring to your experience to develop your own ethical thinkings, logical thinking on ethics in your daily activities. Yeah. Okay. Any question from you based on these materials? Okay. If not, I think I'm considered to. I will ask you to, maybe the presentation will be postponed by next week. Yeah. Because after this, from the IUP student that take my course in the entrepreneurs, I think we will have a long journey today, because uh, start in 12:30 until 15th, I think. I think 17th. Yeah, I think we will have a long mentoring session. So I think I will break first, and then we will meet again next week for continuing our discussion. I'm not have any assignment for you, so feel free to access the material in the log, and then we meet again next week. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for me, and thank you very much for your joining the session. For you that join late, please scan your QR. Thank you, and I close the session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, sir.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Um,
sir.
Yes, please, Alicia.
I haven't scanned QR code. I was having a problem.
Your voice is not clear.
Oh, never mind. I would like to say that I haven't scanned the QR code, but
Oh,
you already showed the QR code. Oh, okay. Thank you,
okay.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
I hear you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.